Hi everyone, thank you for joining me, Debbie from cariadcards.co, and today this is the card that we're going to be making. It's made with rich raspberry colour and I've used a stamp from the Serene Silhouettes stamp set. I'm going to start off with a 6" by 6" card blank that I just buy in packs of 50 and fold in half. I've got a piece of card already cut out in rich raspberry. That's cut to 14 centimetres by 14 centimetres or 5.5 inches by 5.5, and a piece of whisper white cut to 13.5 centimetres by 13.5 centimetres and 5.25 inches by 5.25 inches. I will put all of the measurements on my blog. Right, I'm going to start off then by creating these double embossed lines, which I do on many of my cards. I just love the way that they finish off the edges of a card without needing to use too many layers. So I've got my simply scored board and my stylus that comes with it. I've put my good side that I'm going to show face down, and I'm going to do a double line this time. So I'm just going to pop my stylus in and I'm going to the very edge groove at the edge of the card, and I'm going from the top to the bottom down once, and I'm doing a second line going 1/8 of an inch in, just again from the top to the bottom. So that's the effect that I've ended up with. I'm going to turn the card 90 degrees so my scored lines are along the top, although it doesn't matter which direction you do this in. And again, I'm going to start from the top, go down to the bottom on the outside, on the furthermost groove to the edge, score line, and go in 1/8 of an inch and do the same. So now that's what we've got. So I'm going to do that on the other two sides, and then I can put my scoreboard away. This really is such a fast technique. Oh gosh. This is the problem when you're sitting further back. It's just that little bit harder to keep your stylus in the groove. If you're in the normal position where you're standing up or you're sitting over your card, it's a lot easier. That's the only reason mine jumps occasionally, because I'm sitting right back here. So there's my embossed card. Hopefully you've been able to see that. It all depends how the light catches it with the camera. Right, now we're going to work on creating this stamped image. I've got a spare piece of whisper white card, and I don't know whether as a crafter you're like me, I just always want to save everything, and I've got this gorgeous Stampin' Up grid pad, but I still put a spare piece of card underneath just so I don't make a mess on it. Oh, some of us have some daft habits, don't we? Right, I've got the Serene Silhouettes stamp set, and that's the one that I'm going to use. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, we've got two different colours on the same stamp set, and using standard ink pads, it's difficult to achieve that without getting some overlap of colour. But there is a technique you can use that's really, really simple that allows you to put multiple colours onto a single stamp. So there's my stamp. What I've got are the Stampin' Up bright markers. I've got wild wasabi and rich raspberry, and you've got two ends on your markers. You've got a pen style end and almost like a paintbrush style end. So all you need to do, just rather than using this like a pen, use it more on the side. You just go over and just colour in the bits you want to be green, or whichever colour you're using, and you just literally I'm going a bit slowly here, but you don't need to be as slow as I'm being. Just make sure you've inked up every little bit. Almost there. Right, so that's the green done, and then again we're looking for, I should know which end to open. It has got a little marker there that shows you. So I'm just now going to do the flower heads, and again keeping my marker on the side, just going over the flower heads, trying to avoid going onto the green. And the green will be starting to dry, not a problem, don't worry about it. That's the beauty, you can take as long as you want, you can go off, answer the phone, go and cook a meal if you need to. All you need to do is huff and puff on it, and that will reactivate the ink. So, I'm off camera, sorry. And I think the moisture from your breath just makes it slightly damp again. So I'm just going to pop that down on my card. That's where I'll get the darkest image, but I also want to do what we call shadow stamping, so I'm going to move it down a bit. That's why I just put my spare bit of card in. And then I get this second image, but it's just lighter than the first one, so it almost looks like you've used a different ink colour. I'm going to now cut out the shape that I've used there, and to do that I've used the Deco Labels set, the framelets, and I've used the largest one. So just sort of work out where you want it. I know I need to leave enough room to put a greeting on. I'll just move this out of the way for a moment because I've got to bring my big shot in. I've got my magnetic platform. If you haven't got one, seriously think about getting one. They are brilliant. They just hold things in place. You haven't got that worry about things moving when you run it through your machine. So just position that where you want it to be. Pop your top cutting plate on. Hopefully yours aren't in such a terrible state as mine are. And just run that through your machine. Sorry about any camera shake. I'm sure there's plenty. Okay, and I'm just going to pop this out of view. So take that out, take my framelit out, and then we've got the beautifully shaped, isn't it gorgeous? It just really, really frames these flowers absolutely beautifully. Now I'm going to stamp a hello stamp on there. And for that, I've used the sentiment from A Dozen Thoughts. It's such a gorgeous set, lovely sentiments there, and some gorgeous font styles. I'm really quite into font styles at the moment. Right, for this we need the rich razzleberry. You could actually use your marker as you've got them out, but I'm just going to ink this up. So, hello, and just work out where you want to put it. Pop it on there, and I'm just going to leave that to dry for a moment. Now the next thing that we need to do, if you look here, I've got a highlighting area, highlighting, low lighting, I'm not sure, but we've got rich razzleberry card there and there in the same shape that this is. And all I did was took a piece of rich razzleberry card, used exactly the same framelits label, and just cut that out. Now, just to save card, I'm not going to cut two out because we all know card costs a lot. You know, you could cut two if you want and pop one there and one down, but I like to try and be a bit economical. So I'm just going to literally cut it along the centre because it's going to be attached to the back. Don't worry about cutting it nice and straight, it doesn't matter. I'm going to cut these little spiky bits off because I don't want those to show at the edges of my card. It's just really the curved top area I want to show. So now you can see that when we lay that there, we've got this lovely framing effect. So I'm just going to get some fast fuse. Oh, I never know which way to put this around the first time. And oh, I might pop a little bit there. When you're using fast fuse, roll it along and flick it off to the side. That's the best way to get a nice clean finish so that you can use it next time without any problem. Right, just a little bit difficult for me because I'll turn it upside down because I can't quite see over there. As I'm saying many times, I am sitting just a little bit further back so that you don't get my ugly mug in shot of the camera. And again, so flick, flick. It's brilliant stuff. and again I'll turn it that way. So I'm just lining this up so that I haven't got too much card, but just enough to give it that sort of shadow effect. Have I? I'm just wondering. I think I've got it a little bit lower on that side, but I may struggle to get that off. I may cause more damage. I'm sure nobody's going to notice. Right, so let's start putting our card together, and then we've just got, after that, the butterflies to create. But I always quite like to get my card started. I feel like I'm really progressing that way. So just using my preferred method of adhering my card, which any of you that watch me regularly will know is a bit of glue. You can use fast fuse again, you can use snail, you can use, actually I've been calling this fast fuse. Oh, I'm having a bad morning. This is snail, sorry, but you can use fast fuse. Nothing wrong with either of them. The fast fuse will stick very, very quickly, and it certainly won't be removable once you put it on. The snail sticks beautifully, just not quite as quickly as intensely, is that the right word? As the fast fuse. So, double-sided, I didn't mention that for this, did I? Now, the next thing I'm going to do is pop that on. I'm going to use some dimensionals for the back of that. So pop a few dimensionals around. So that's what it looks like on the back. I've obviously got this little white area here because we cut it and moved it up. Oh, I must not use so many dimensionals. I keep saying that's going to be my New Year's resolution. They're so good, you honestly don't need as many as I put on. I just can't seem to get out of the habit of packing almost every spare inch of space with one. And I suppose it doesn't hurt to be cautious, does it? Because if you don't use enough, sometimes it can not hold quite as steady. Right, there we go. Okay, and the last things, I've got these butterflies and little candy dots. So for the butterflies, I've just used some pink pirouette. I just wanted to lighten it just a little bit. And I've got my itty bitty butterfly punch and a scrap a card. Save all those scraps, I'm sure you do. I've already created one, so I'm just going to do one. So I've taken my rich raspberry ink and my finger sponge dauber that you know I like to use regularly. So that then ties the rich raspberry into this lighter card and just gives it almost a bit of a 3D effect. Just go round with that. Don't stick your finger on the middle of the pad. I've been going round with coloured fingers for days. Such a klutz. Right, I've just got some little rhinestones that I'm going to pop onto here, and you can put 2 or 3 on. You can put small ones, medium-sized ones, large ones. You could put pearls on. You could use your markers or blendabilities to colour these so that they coordinate. Oh, didn't stick that one down, did I? It's gone walking somewhere. Do you find you've got rhinestones and glitter and goodness knows what sitting around your craft room on the floor and on the surfaces? I'm just going to bend that around the rhinestones, just so I've got a bit of lift. And then I've got the one that I made earlier. Didn't really need to do 2 of them to show you. Got some glue dots, and I would highly recommend that you position these well before you put your glue dots on. I've already done this, so I know the positions I want mine in. But it's amazing when you go to put them on, you put one on, you think, oh, perfect. And then you go to put your second one on, you think, oh, it doesn't quite look right now. So I would strongly suggest that you put them on, look at it, walk back a bit, have another look, and just check that that's exactly where you want them to be. It's much easier to move them about before you've glued them down. So just a glue dot on the back of that, which will hold these beautifully and firmly. And then candy dots. I don't know whether you've seen these, I haven't used these very much, and something that I've just treated myself to. They are gorgeous and they come in the colour sets. So these are the brights, which obviously contain the rich raspberry. They are lovely. And I'm just going to pop one there and one there, just to finish that off, because I felt I'd got something in that corner, something up there, and I just wanted something to balance it there. So there we have it. There's my card for today in rich raspberry, and it's using the Serene Silhouette stamp set. Thank you very much for joining me, Debbie, and I hope to see you again tomorrow. Goodbye from me, from Cariad Cards.